Hi, I'm Brand, and I love Mission Impossible.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I also love Mission Impossible.
I'm Dan, and I also love Mission Impossible. And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
That's the one.
Yeah!
Great job, everybody. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well,
Man,
it only took us a month and a half.
what are we going to
Feels
do
good.
for the 8th one?
I don't know.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Not even try.
It felt
That was
right.
really
We
good.
felt in the pocket immediately.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
It's unbelievable.
With the delay? Come on now.
Hi, everybody. Mission Impossible 7, Dead Reckoning, Part 1, depending on who you ask. Excited to
debatable.
break into this one. Dan, how was your 4th of July?
Dude, amazing.
Yes?
I made you some hot dogs,
Yes,
as you
you
remember.
finally
of
did.
course. Yeah, swam in the pool. You know, had a nice time celebrating the nation's birthday.
Now,
Happy
Ryan,
birthday, USA.
happy birthday. Ryan, I understand that you had maybe a bit of a scare with Cletus over 4th of July weekend. I don't have all the details, but can you kind of fill in the gaps for me?
Totally. Well, sorry, I don't have my calendar in front of me.
Lion
What day are we
sack of
recording
crap.
this? What today? It's after.
Today
July
is the
8th, read a book.
8th, yes.
It's the
July
8th.
7th,
Yeah.
read
Today's
a
the
book.
7th, yeah.
It's the 7th.
Look
so
at a calendar.
I came down. You guys don't even know this. Brandon, I guess you were reading the trades. I was in
was.
Greenville on the 3rd. I made it to Greenville. I'm not going to tell you how, because I don't want Cletus to be aware. But I was in Greenville on the 3rd. And so I went to Planet Comics in Greenville, South Carolina. They have a Power Rangers Hyperforce that I was looking for. And Cletus was at checkout. He was behind the register.
Oh, he's running the register?
No, Brand, I don't think he is. And so I didn't even text you guys. I promptly found my way back to Connecticut. And so
Hold on. So you got here days early.
Yeah, I was gonna make a little vacation out of it. Now, granted, this was ill-advised because I'm gonna be back in.
Let me tell you right now. First of all, that was a mask. Mission Impossible. We're on theme. That was my buddy Trip. And Trip.
Oh, so it was one of your people.
It was my buddy Trip, and he wore a mask. He wore a Cletus mask that we had done.
Cletus, real quick, Cletus.
I need to tell you one thing. First of all, you lied about your Toby Keith fandom, and that's been bothering me for a long time.
I can say on the record I did lie about my Toby Keith fan.
You're a
Nothing
liar.
would make Ryan happier than to
You're a liar.
make it known.
You don't like Toby Keith. You love him.
Cletus, could you understand how
You don't like the
admitting
Dixie
that you're-
Chicks, do you? You don't like them, do you?
they're just the chicks now, Cletus.
They're
I
always
read the
Dixie
news.
for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would you understand how, from my POV, you admitting that your friend Trip has a mask would make me think that the gentleman
It's
in the
just a
Halo
mask among
costumes-
friends. You and your
the
friends don't
gentlemen in the
share.
Halo costumes were.
You and your friends
your
don't share
people?
masks. You and your friends don't share masks, right? Is you too good? Are you Yankee folk too good for a friend mask share?
Brandon and I have shared a mask once upon
We
a
have
time.
Okay,
Just
all right.
the once.
The truth comes
after
out.
he spit the water at me at the marathon, that led to a whole
The truth
cavalcade
comes
of
out.
issues.
How do you like me
Yeah.
now?
But can I ask you this, Cletus, if you don't mind? Hi, how are you?
Shoot. How you
Good
doing,
to
big
see you,
guy?
buddy?
Yeah.
So did you send your buddy? What was it, Ted?
Trip.
Trip. Sorry,
Trip.
He's Ted the
Did you-
Third, though.
did
That's
you-
a very good guess.
Thank you.
That's why he's called Trip.
Call him
Yeah,
Trip just
they
to
had to
even it out.
specify.
It's a triple.
Did you
Can't
send?
be Ted Jr. That's Junior.
Did you purposely send Trip down to Greenville with
In a
your
mask.
mask?
No, Trip works there.
Okay,
He works there
and he-
anyway.
and he was just
Yeah.
wearing
He's
your
a
mask.
resident of Greenville.
I looked through my Rolodex, and my buddy Trip, I knew this guy loves the two things about Ryan we know. He loves the Power Rangers. He loves Toby Keith.
Yes.
And so we know
At
where
the
he'd
very
be.
least, in that order, yeah.
As soon as his shirts changed, as soon as he decided to get on a bus to get down to Greenville, I said,
How
well,
do
we
you know
got
I took
Wait,
a
is that
bus?
true? Is it
I
a
don't
bus?
listen. I don't even want to.
Well,
look,
it is
It doesn't
true,
matter.
and again, I think this paints a rather
How do you
negative
like me
picture
now?
of Cletus. But you guys don't seem to care.
Your first lie
Dan
was
doesn't
Toby
even-
Keith.
Dan
Your
doesn't even
second
make a
lie
peep.
was you don't friend mass share, and I knew that was true. We all friend
What was
mass
that one
share.
Toby Keith song, Born on the 4th of July? What was
That's
that?
a Tom Cruise movie.
A perfect segue there, Breno.
Thank you, Cletus.
You're welcome.
All right.
Y'all have fun now.
Mission Impossible.
Thanks, Cletus. It's really nice coming from you.
Oh, that was encouraging.
It was an encouraging thing. Cletus
Dan, how
said.
are you, buddy?
I'm all right, man.
Good
How
to
about
hear
you?
from you.
So
Yeah.
guys, sorry, I wanted to do burgers and dogs and the whole nine, and
Yeah,
then
no,
I
I
was just
get
gonna
it.
stay. I
Yeah.
might have just stayed through Bramblefest, which is like any day now.
It is any day.
Yeah,
It's coming up in a
It's
couple
coming
weeks.
up. 10
You
days
You guys
from
feeling
now.
all right with the stress of
You will
Bramblefest?
actually be in town next week for Bramblefest.
God willing.
Yeah.
Yeah. After you found out that Cletus had a friend in Greenville wearing a Cletus mask,
yeah.
if you're going to come back down here, that's bold.
Dan,
That's a
have you
bold
I'm
met-
not going to
move.
that comic shop. I'll tell
Dan,
you
have
that
you
much.
met Cletus?
No, I don't know anything about him. I don't know. You're getting video on your end. What does he look like?
I can't get into it. I can't. I've been sworn to secrecy. I was surprised
Technically, I
that you
haven't
knew
even
what
seen
he looked like, though.
Well,
Yeah, you
know,
saw
there
him in the
was-
store and immediately clocked
Well,
him as Cletus.
The guys, when I ran into the Halo gentleman at LaGuardia, they all had a little picture of Cletus in their wallet. So
They all had a little. So you ran
Hey,
into.
Cletus, is that true?
Well, you got to carry at least a wallet size. I prefer a 5x9 folded, but you got to carry a wallet.
Okay.
I send glossies though. I want them to
Oh,
make
that's
sure they
nice.
have good options.
that is
When
kind
when
of-
am I getting a glossy?
You'll just wait your turn.
That's what I'm saying.
Just wait your turn.
Okay, great.
That's right.
All right.
You don't ask questions.
Hey, Dan, this is Cletus.
Hey man, what's going on? Danny, I've heard good things. You seem like a good old boy. You know what I mean? Cletus, I don't really share your affinity for Toby Keith.
Yeah.
And it's a little disconcerting.
Neither do I, for the record. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
now you're disconcerting. I don't know that. I bet Ryan can even spell that.
Ryan?
DIS. Oh boy. DIS. CONCERTING.
Oh, he lucked out another one. Look at that.
Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning.
Horseshoes, hand grenades, and rye guy.
Part
I don't even know
one.
what that means, Cletus. I don't even know what that means. Those two things are almost. He got it right. You wouldn't get it.
Cletus, I'll see you later tonight,
Yeah.
or for the rest of the
Only
viewing
one of
audience
us here
next
went
week.
to Oxford, so you guys can just back.
You'll see
back
him
off.
later tonight. What does that mean?
Well, I'm gonna have to go back to the I'm taking the red eye. I need that power.
Oh,
Rangers
you're
Cyberforce
coming back,
comic.
huh? You think you're coming back to town? All right, we'll see about that.
Brand, do you
only
take
one-
that as a threat? You're an objective third party.
It
here.
did sound No, Cletus doesn't have a threatening bone in his body. I don't know what the big deal is with you guys. He seems like a good guy to me.
Yeah, that's right. You get it. Yeah.
Alright, that's-
He's just a good old boy
He's
from
a good old boy.
Mississippi.
That's right. Good old boy from Jackson.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Tell me something wrong with Jackson.
I won't.
Yeah,
Can't.
that's right. You couldn't.
I
Go ahead.
won't.
You want to talk about Vicksburg? You go ahead. but
Where'd
don't mess with Jackson.
Where'd you get your money?
I went to Oxford. I told you that. Oxford, Mississippi. Robbed a bank.
Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah.
All right. Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1, depending on who you ask. June 19th, 2023 in Rome. That's all I have for you. And then
Never came out in the rest of the world.
Well,
Oh.
as far as I don't have any theater
They showed
information.
it at Conclave.
Just Rome, and then July 12th, 2023, in the U.S. of A. and elsewhere. So are we ready?
Let's do it.
Sure.
With a little something like this. We see this neat little 2-piece key thing being put together, or you just slide them on into each other. And we're on a Russian, guys, I don't know. We're on a Russian.
That sounded a little dirty, Brand.
Sorry, Cletus.
You got to watch it over
All
there.
right, God bless.
Yeah.
We're on a Russian submarine, and they have this AI system apparently called the Entity, and it's gonna help them, hopefully, like evade the enemy or whatever. But while they're like doing some stuff one day down there in Subtown, the AI wake me up. It becomes sentient and makes them think that they're being attacked. So they shoot out a torpedo, but then it turns out no one's attacking them, and then they end up getting struck by their own torpedo. Pretty cool trick by the old AI. And now, as the bodies float up,
Hit the
key
floor.
hit the floor,
The bodies
so-
hit the ice.
so to speak. The key is now split up, and that's good, I guess, because now you can't do it. I don't know. We then catch up with Ethan Hunt, who is given his new mission: get both pieces of the key, and one of which has already been obtained by Ilsa. Remember Ilsa? So he has to get the other one half from Ilsa and then track down the other half. So he heads to the desert, tracks her down. He gets the key, tells her that she's dead, which basically means like stay out of this because part of the mission was, hey, there's like a $50 million bounty on her. So he's basically giving her a heads up, like, hey, don't show yourself. Ethan then sneaks into a meeting to hear Kittredge, who is back randomly, and who is explaining that the entity can manipulate all sorts of stuff, and there's intelligence, there's financial networks. If this AI gets out of hand, we could be in real bad shape. And so he tells them that Ethan Hunt, who was on the case, is now nowhere to be found. We don't know where he is, except we do. He's in the room in a mask. He tells Kittredge that he refuses to give...
This is one of those Kittredge quick schemes.
And that's funny. Wow. That he refuses to give him the half of the key that he has, but tells him that he is going to find the other half and he is going to destroy the entity. At this point, Ethan Hunt only trusts himself, and really,
why wouldn't you?
Who can blame him? Ethan meets up with Benji and Luther, and they travel to Abu Dhabi to intercept the buyer of the other half of the key. Ethan's plan here is to sell his half of the key to the buyer and then follow the buyer and figure out what it unlocks. So Ethan locates the buyer, but the key is stolen by a professional thief named Grace. Ethan confronts Grace and offers to put the key back in the buyer's pocket in exchange for $4 million. But by the time they get back to the buyer, he is dead. And then we find out that the key that they have is actually a counterfeit. So that's unfortunate. While Ethan was distracted, Luther and Benji was disarming a weapon at the time, so they were like in his ears. Grace ends up stealing the real key from Ethan, and off she goes. Ethan suspects that there might be some sketchy stuff going on because he sees a reflection of a fellow named Gabriel, who is a powerful terrorist who appears to be working, at the very least, with the entity or trying to get control of the entity. I don't know. It's AI. What can you do? He and Ethan had an encounter back in the day, which was ultimately what locked Ethan up and how he became an IMF agent in the first place. So he aborts the mission and the team scatters. Grace escapes to Rome but is apprehended. Ethan shows up to help her escape, but then they end up both being chased. There's an entity operative named Paris who's also working on behalf of the entity, and then there's a U.S. agent named Jasper Briggs. Hey, I'm Jasper Briggs. Paris and Briggs get into a shootout against each other, which gives Ethan and Grace enough time to escape. Ethan meets back up with Luther and Benji, and Ilsa joins him this time. She's back, and Ethan and Ilsa follow Grace to Venice, where they go to a party which is being held by the White Widow. Luther has figured out by analyzing the video feed of the airport that Gabriel is working for the entity. Ilsa says that Gabriel is the entity's messenger and that the key leads to the entity's source code. So the party is popping, and the White Widow, Gabriel, Paris, Ethan, Grace, Ilsa, they're all there. This seems great, right? Let's have a good night out on the town. Ethan realizes that the party was organized by the entity. The entity is the DJ, and he is
popping,
spinning those tracks. Ethan knows that the White Widow is trying to get the key, but doesn't want to keep the key for herself because she doesn't actually know what it unlocks. She just wants to sell it, basically. And she cannot decide whether to give the key to her friend, old pal Ethan, or to Gabriel. So, tapped into the entity, Gabriel proclaims that he will get the key, the completed key, the next day, and that Ilsa and Grace are gonna, or Grace are gonna die. So the AI is just kind of giving him visions of the future, I guess. And while Ethan is attempting to convince the White Widow to not give the key to Gabriel, Gabriel escapes. The entity leads Grace and Ilsa to Gabriel, and Gabriel knocks out Grace and then kills Ilsa, which is a real sad thing for Ethan. Grace agrees to impersonate the White Widow and try to take the key during the final sale on the train the next day. Ethan needs to figure out how he's going to get on that train to keep Grace safe. So the next day, we're on the train. Gabriel kills the engine crew and does this thing which basically makes the train, you can't stop it. It's a runaway train. Grace...
never coming back.
Never coming back. Grace finds the White Widow, knocks her out, and then goes to meet with Kittredge, who is the buyer, and she has the mask on now of the White Widow. She's masking up. Paris and Gabriel meet the director of national intelligence, Dintlinger, who gives a bunch of information. He just spills it all, which is basically more about the entity and how it ultimately went rogue, and he explains how to find the source code, which is on this submarine, which if you have the key, you would be able to decide whether to destroy the entity or you could control it and do all sorts of harm with it. So now that he has all the information that he needs, Gabriel kills that guy. Kittredge agrees to the White Widow's, Grace's deal of $100 million and protection in exchange for the key, but she ends up declining the deal and pickpocketing him with the key. It's the full completed key, and so now we have it. So how is Ethan going to get on this train to save the day? You might be wondering to yourself. Well, Benji navigates him to the top of this mountain where he rides his motorcycle off of the mountain, parachutes in through the side of the train. Easy.
Yeah.
Grace takes off the mask and tries to escape, but it's too late. She's about to be shot, but then that's when Ethan comes to the side of the train and saves her, but the key falls on the floor, which is picked up by Gabriel. He goes to the top of the train where Ethan follows him, and they begin to fight, but he escapes and is going to set off an explosion of the bridge that is coming up, causing the train to crash. But Ethan manages to, one, steal the key back, does a little pickpocket of his own without Gabriel noticing, and then Grace and Ethan detach the front of the train from the back of the train, which allows the people to all go to the back of the train and saves their lives. But they aren't safe yet because they're on the part of the train that is still kind of falling off the side of this cliff, and they're fighting to make it to the part that's finally going to stop. And right as they're about to fall, Paris shows up and pulls them to safety. And she tells Ethan where to take the key and what he's supposed to do. And then
Submarine is all she says.
Yes, yeah. Submarine. And then passes out from stab wound. Ethan then has to leave but can't take Grace with him. And so he flies off with his little parachute thing, and then Grace agrees to work with Kittredge, and Ethan lands and is joined by Benji, and their next mission is to successfully join the entity. I guess we'll see you next movie, and that, my friends, was
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Yeah, we did it.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down. We'll share our thoughts and all that good stuff here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. And we're going to share our hot takes now. This is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We're not going to hold back.
Rye Guy's already used his skip on the rankings. He's in for ranking.
He has to participate.
Gotta do it.
What'd you think, Rye Guy?
I had not seen this film since theaters in some context that I think is important both for me, but honestly, and you two tell me if you agree with this, I think probably the large, majority of the viewing public. You're right, bud?
We're fine. Water went up my nose and the chair's breaking. I'm fine. Continue.
What just happened? It was like a gunshot.
Yeah, we're good. Keep going.
Go ahead, man. That was wild.
This got caught up in the Barbenheimer shuffle. It
did.
came out the week before Barbenheimer. And so I feel like what happened to me probably happened to a lot of people was that the hype for Barbenheimer, especially a week before
fever pitch.
their releases, like I was really excited for Mission Impossible 7, but I feel like I almost yada-yada'd through it because I was ready for everything that was about to come. So I left the theater going, that was good. No way it was as good as 6, but honestly, I didn't really think much more about it. I didn't really digest it. I was ready for the big summer of movies, literally plural, those two that were about to come the next week. So this was the first time I've watched it since then, and this movie is really, really, really enjoyable. Yeah. It's I will tell you right now that the question I posed last week, I do feel like applies. The only real strike against this for me is that it's not as good as 6. Like, to give like a really hyper specific example, especially the way we're watching this. We're watching these, you know, once a week or maybe even a little sooner than that.
No.
Like, you know, but and this is a silly one, right? But like, to compare Tom Cruise running in 6 versus 7, I'm like, oh, we already did the best version of this. But when you're seeing this in theaters a few years later, or you're just turning this on without having watched a bunch of Mission Impossibles in a small amount of time,
yeah, of course,
you just go, oh, cool, it's the Tom Cruise running thing again. But I found myself comparing a lot. But if I'm taking that away until the end, where I literally have to compare all of these films and give a list, it's really, really good. Haley Atwell is great.
Yeah.
And I believe the dynamic between her and Cruise is the most prolonged sense of fun that these movies have been willing to have. And maybe your mileage varies on how much fun a Mission Impossible movie where the stake of the world and AI and all of these things are at stake. But like the car chase where they're handcuffed together was electric. And she's just a great character. She always delivers. There's sizable chunks in the last 40 minutes or so as Cruise is getting ready to do this week's dunk contest stunt that we don't see him. And I didn't dislike it, but it's by far the most amount of time any of these movies ever goes without Ethan Hunt being present. But I think that's a testament to everything else they built, especially Haley Atwell's work in the majority of the first hour and a half, 2 hours of the film. All the major set pieces work. The final act is a lot of fun. It's literally brand, just not Mission Impossible 6. But if you give me a second here, I would go 6, 3, 7, 5, 4, 1, 2.
Does 3 have information on you? Is it bribing you?
I like
it's
Philip Seymour
one.
Hoffman.
It's one. You said the only thing wrong with this movie is it's not 6. So I'm going to go 6, 3, 7.
Yeah, this. I mean, if
It's not 3 either.
From a mounted action film, and
this movie's great.
No, my problem's not this movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in 28 minutes of that movie.
I really like that 28 minutes.
It's as good as it
Dan.
gets, though.
Yeah,
It's just crazy. It's an abomination.
I will say so. But here's the thing: for me, that's the only time we've had a good villain in these movies. This dude's fine. I like him in Titans. I'm watching that right now on Max or HBO Max, depending on who you talk to. And like he's good. But like maybe it's specifically because it was one of our greatest thespians of all time. But we've only had a good villain once. We've literally.
Can I tell you, in my rankings, 3 moved ahead of 1 because I did sit on.
Yeah, I'm moving 1 down. Moving 1 down.
So it sits like 3 and 1 are back and forth for me because I think 1 is the more complete movie. But we got Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie. That's a big deal. I do want to give it credit for that. But acting like his 28 minutes make it better than motorcycling off a cliff or any of most of what happens from 4 to 8 is just. I think
this is why I used my skip that one.
But I think to Ryan's point here, the 28 minutes with him on the screen doesn't really involve massive stunts, and it's as captivating as those amazing moments.
That is a fair argument that does for me kick it up above 1 and 2 for sure. I have
this movie third. I have it third.
But that's not. I don't care where you have this movie. It's about where you have 3. You have it second.
It's about what's in your heart.
Yeah.
All right, well, I have 6, 3, 7.
It seems like we're clinging to nostalgia, is what it seems like we're doing.
I watched these movies 6 years ago.
Okay, all right.
It's nostalgia for a simpler time.
A simpler time. Philip Seymour Hoffman. God rest his soul. He and Toby Keith.
That's right. They're partying together.
Go ahead, Brando.
Partying together in the big party in the sky.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this one. It's a lot of fun. I think I get a little bit like bored with the amount of time they spend explaining the entity.
I hate this last one.
I just think it is like I felt like I heard the same conversation no less than 5 times. And it gets a little bit slow there for me before getting to the train, and but it's okay. It's okay because the stuff that works in this movie really, really works. And so I have given it a lot of thought, and I have moved Fallout ahead of Ghost Protocol. I
Yep,
thought I
that's
might,
the right
and I
move.
did it.
Yep, that's the right
So I have Fallout, Ghost Protocol, Dead Reckoning, 3-1, Rogue Nation 2. That's what I have.
So 6, 4, 7, your top 3.
6,
Yeah.
4, 7.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
6, 5.
I like
6.
that top 3 a lot, Brain.
Thank you.
That top 6, 4, 7.
Oh, geez, I wonder why.
But I think I still think there's still a world where I end up moving Ghost Protocol back ahead. I think they're just duking it out,
yeah.
and they're just two totally
I moved
different.
Ghost Protocol up
Yeah.
after praying on it for a week.
I
or
just
so.
think
Yeah.
I think you have
At least a week, yeah.
You have Fallout, which is to me the best version of
It's the best action movie.
of the Mission Impossible that we kind of think of now.
Yes,
and then you have Ghost Protocol, which to me is the most complete package.
Yep.
And I just have them kind of duking it out in my mind, and I could see it going back and forth.
I'm with
a
you
couple
with
more
all
times.
that aside from I just think 6 is unequivocally better. But I the reasoning behind that, I'm with you 100%.
What do you think? What do you think of this one, Dan?
So I'd forgotten just how amazing the last 50 minutes of this movie is. It is as tense and well structured a finale as we've ever seen in this series. Going into this movie, I had watched a 15-minute video on how they made the motorcycle to free dive stunt. And I thought that was a mistake to release that video early. But that still hits. Everything on the train is amazing. And then the closer where the train cars keep cascading is just, it's tension at its highest. Like I found myself gripping tight to the laptop that I was taking notes on. It's so good. It may be the best 50-minute closer. It's definitely the best closer in this series. What comes before it is definitely more uneven, but it dawned on me not until Rye Guy was giving his hot take, which was an excellent hot take, Rye Guy, that this franchise has very successfully and to scale up the ante every movie. So like knock list, that's just, we're going to confirm the identities of secret spies. That's bad. Chimera, we're going to have an outbreak of a pandemic. We know that's not good, right? The third one is the rabbit's foot, which might not be a higher stake than Chimera, but it certainly seems as though whatever it does is going to cause mass harm. 4, we have our first nuclear warhead in the picture. It's about to take out a city. Right? 5, this is a guy that wants to wipe out portions of the planet to reset the balance of who's in charge. 6, this is where that plan comes to fruition and 3 giant cities are about to have a full wipeout. It's like Thanos. 7,
Why about?
nicely done. You've been working really hard on that, and that's really, really good.
Thank you.
I mean, you're just like when they do the cover, you're going to be ready for your moment.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So proud. You want to give it one more?
Why about?
It doesn't sound anything like it, but I think it's going to be its own thing, which is
Well,
great.
that's what you don't want
Yeah.
the cover to be exactly the same.
So 7
have that.
ups the ante from the reset of world dominance, which is AI is going to take over completely. It is completely fate of the world. We've made it. And so kudos to Mission Impossible for actually stepping it up every single episode in a way that seems like, to your point, Bran, it's always been that way. Every movie they're trying to save the world, that's actually not true. They've done a good job of upping the ante every time. They also have so many callbacks to the first movie in this movie. Kittredge is back. That's a big deal. You have Max's daughter on the train with the MacGuffin. You have Tom Cruise, who didn't
Which, by the way, you and I both missed, and
yeah,
Aaron told us.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't know. I thought you were going to do a bit. It was
it's
like, I had
blinking,
Colonel
you miss
Mustard.
it.
Hold on.
No,
Like,
Yeah.
They don't really harp on it.
They
It's
don't.
there.
Yeah, Aaron had to tell us. I'd seen these movies multiple times that it was Max's daughter. But in the first movie, Tom Cruise doesn't get to be on an actual train. They have to use the green screen and wind tunnels. So he's like, you know how I fix that? I get on an actual train. There's a lot of callback to the first movie in this that brings it very much full circle. And I think Bran's going to be bored. We've not seen the new one yet. We're going to see it on the smallest screen possible. But Bran is probably, from what I hear, there's a lot of this nostalgic exposition in the first hour of the new one. And I'm actually very excited about that because I appreciate the fact that all of these movies are nonsense, but they take them very seriously, and I think that's important. So for me, Fallout still has the complete package. That movie from start to finish is relentless. It never stops. The action is amazing. The stunts are amazing. This movie builds, honors the first one, and ends with the best 50 minutes of the franchise. But I have to also honor the fact that 4 is probably the complete movie from a character standpoint. So it is 6, 4, 7, 5, 3, 1, 2. That is my order.
8, 6, 7, 5.
3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 1, 2. That's what I would go with.
And if you call now, you get a free sweatshirt.
Free sweatshirt. Free Fast Friday sweatshirt. We got them laying around here.
Call
Yeah.
Let's get to the feels. Right, guy? Anything give you feels?
At one point, I believe right before that final 50 or so minute climax starts, Ethan says to Grace, "Your life will always matter more to me than my own." But that's really Tom Cruise talking to us.
That's right.
And
It is 100% breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and I honestly, especially with how we've done this exercise, it kind of. I mean, I'm about to watch the new one on a small screen as well. Like I was like, oh, that's like actually really sweet. And so
Thanks, Tom.
he did something very similar in Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise is getting very good at like, you know, in Top Gun Maverick it was more like I'm old but I can still do this. Here it's like, hey, I'm risking my life for you, but I'm happy to do it. And that duality and kind of breaking kayfabe really works.
Yeah, it does. That was really nice. In the train scene, when the train is going down and they are fighting against gravity to, you know, climb their way back up, and the piano begins to fall. Like I think I said this is so cool like 4 times during like while that's happening. The whole thing was just so much fun to watch. And to me, Mission Impossible is at its best when you are left wondering how did they do that, and how did they do that? And that was definitely the scene in the movie for me where I'm just like, it is so cool, it looks so great, they're building tension so wonderfully, and so I love that scene. Dano?
Yeah, mine is that, but a little bit just wider. This movie, you know, a lot of big action extravaganzas use special effects to make the impossible possible. This Mission Impossible movie uses digital effects to make the possible there as a landscape so he can do the impossible. So like in that the motorcycle scene where he literally just jumps off a cliff, lets go of the motorcycle and just free dives down, and like they shoot it with a camera, which is just crazy. The ramp, they had to build a ramp. And so one place you can see digital effects in this movie is he's going up this thing that looks like Pride Rock from Lion King, and it's so rocky, but he's going smooth as silk. And so and then in the train scene, like he's doing all of those stunts, but they create some of the digital effects around to make the train car look better, so he can do the stunts successfully and show you the physical feats of strength. And so this movie literally flips the paradigm on why you use digital effects. And that's awesome. They could have just kept it with everything has to be practical, and I think that's what Chris Nolan would do, and I guess that's the best. But if we want Tom Cruise to like jump off of a cliff thousands of feet in the air and all we need is a smooth surface, then by golly, CGI a smooth surface. Like that's fine by me. And so I really appreciate that in upping the ante from 6, the only way to really do that was to utilize some computer generation to make Tom Cruise act at a 10 of 10. So that's why I don't know any stunts from the last one, and I'm very excited to watch it on as small a screen as we can possibly find. Maybe in Mission Impossible 2, the little screen with the VHS
that'd be
cassette.
great.
Maybe that.
That'd be good.
Or
let's
maybe
just get on a plane.
Yeah.
Maybe a disposable camera, and we just have to look in the viewfinder.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Nice. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way what and the Mission or Impossible here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And it is time for the Wait What, is where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? I'll start with you, Right Guy.
Bran, I'm not totally, I wouldn't say I'm in lockstep with you on the exposition being a little much, but I also did feel it. They're in the meeting room early on. It's before the mask reveal, and man, they're talking for a while. But it ultimately leads to a predictable, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, mask reveal that it's Cruise, and he throws the gas bomb. Now, and he has the mask on, but the way I understand the gas mask is you should leave it on.
Nah. How can you reveal who you are if you leave it on?
Sure, yeah, but he takes the gas mask off. the gas is still like
We
engulfing
said
the room.
We said the same
Yeah,
thing.
As soon as it goes clear, you're in the all clear.
That's right.
It was green,
Yeah,
and then
it's
it goes clear, and he's good to go.
It's a gas mask apparently in the Mission Impossible universe just for the point of release.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's right.
And then they get
literally, yeah,
Yeah,
just for the half second.
It gets better.
Yeah,
It gets
20,
better.
20 seconds.
It becomes
you're all
that
good.
good gas
Yeah.
that Bran was
The good
talking
gas,
about.
that's
It's
right.
the good gas. Yeah. So that maybe it was the good gas. At one point after, and I love the car chase with them handcuffed together.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's great, and it again, knowing that they're doing 99% of it, it's great. But at the end, Ethan gets caught. Grace bolts again, and one of the cop stooges throws handcuffs at him, and he's like, "Put those on." Well, who would do that?
Yeah.
Like what? That no one would do that. So I didn't like that. And then the last one for me, this brand came out in 23, correct?
Yes.
They were really ahead on AI.
They were.
These guys.
Yeah.
Like in 23, it really is crazy. Like in the summer of 23, it's like, oh wow, this is still like, this is like Eagle Eye. Like this is not like realistic. And then literally by the end of that year, we're doing podcasts about how AI is going to change the world. So good on Mission Impossible. And also, I'm really glad that Grok exists so I can make cool art. Brand.
So that you can make cool art.
It's worth it for Rye Guy's art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And hey, that was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do just now.
It is his passion project. Ryan's passion project is going on Grok and explaining what he wants to see, and he cooks.
Yeah, he cooks.
Like
That's
let
what he
him
really-
let him do his thing, man.
It all came
Rye
from your
cook.
mind. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. That's exactly
Let Ryan
right.
cook.
I got a kick out of the fact that the way that they show whether or not the key is the real key is when you snap the two together, it does a nice little beep beep boop boop with lights. It's like just the
Now you
funniest way to showcase it. And I love that about it. I also love that
No one could replicate that.
no one can replicate the beep beep boops and the lights. It's a very specific thing,
Yeah.
and you need to know that.
That's right.
No one can't
crack that
You
case.
can't do that. I love that. What's his name? The baddie here.
This is my point about 3.
Okay,
This is
whatever. We
Gabriel.
remember Davion. We
When
get it.
Gabriel, he could have just killed the guy and done a thing and made the train do runaway train, but he did it in a way that made the train go choo choo repeatedly.
He wanted the choo-choo.
And
That's
I
right.
think that it's just because we're all kids at heart, and we love a good train choo choo. Here
comes the choo-choo.
And I love that in that moment he said, "Let me do the choo choo. Let me do it the choo choo way, and that'll be fun for me to hear the choo choo." I don't think. He jumps off onto the back of the truck and he sets a timer for 3 minutes so that the bridge collapses as the train is approaching. But here's the thing about like the way that this is if you just go ahead and explode the bridge, it still gets the job done. There's no reason for the 3-minute timer.
The 3-minute timer was for no one.
Because it just basically makes the bridge explode.
Because you can't break they're not
Yeah.
gonna, it doesn't matter.
Right before the train approaches, now they see that it's exploding, and now they're like, I guess that's the thing, is like put a little bit more fear in them if you can see it
Yeah.
collapse. I don't know the point of the 3-minute thing there, because either way it's collapsed. And then I love that he decided, I know where I'm gonna put the pocket. When he does the thing with Grace, he does the sale, and he gets the key. Kittredge does, and then he puts it in his outside jacket pocket.
Safest place in the world.
Guy,
Yeah.
this is the
It's the key to
entity
the
key
whole
that we're talking about
World
here.
domination. That's right.
You should have had a lockbox ready to go. And he says, I got it right here in the old, I'm not letting it out of my sight.
Jacket pocket.
Unfortunate for him. Dano?
Yeah, when Ethan receives his mission, it is definitely more of a lo-fi, your mission should you choose to accept it, complete with high-res glossies of everything, including the key itself. this key had been posed for a photo shoot somewhere. Ethan Hunt doesn't get an idea of what the key looks like. He gets a picture of 5x8 or 5 by whatever it is, whatever Cletus wants the Halo people to have. He gets a picture that size of the key in an all-black background like Marcus Rosner taking snowflake pictures. When did they do that? When did they take the high-res glossy?
I bet they actually had
of
somebody
the
go in and ask AI to generate a replica. AI, Grok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Create for me a picture of what you think the key looks like with the BB boobs.
Ethan also needs, unlike every other mission, a picture of Ilsa with red letters $50 million across it. Why does he need that?
Well, maybe he forgot what she looks like.
Like, is he just getting old? And they're like, since this message is going to self-destruct, we don't trust your memory anymore. Here's some pics. We even did a photo shoot with the key. We think it turned out really lovely. It's very tasteful.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Why is that happening in this movie? You mentioned it briefly, Rye Guy, but this movie, more than any other Mission Impossible movie, contains multiple scenes of what I call popcorn plot, where everyone in the room contributes a line of dialogue in succession about the plot of the movie, like it's clearly been planned. Like, this is a speech that should be given by one person who knows, but to mix it up, they just go around the room, and it happens in that secretary's office at the CIA, where everybody just one after another delivers one sentence of like, and then if blah, blah, blah gets to such and such, then we'll blah, blah, blah. And then it happens later, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Tom Cruise, they just go back and forth like they're in that 70s show basement. And it's just the camera going around them like, then we got to get the key, but at the airport, and then we got to blah, blah, blah. And it is like, they just know exactly what they're doing now. It doesn't, they also start explaining the stunts in detail that it's just not necessary. It's like, well, the only way to do it is to go up to this blah, 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 and then to jump here and to blah, blah, blah. I'd have to get to this speed. It's fantastic.
I love
it's great.
When he gets up to the top of the mountain and he's like, Benji, how am I supposed to do this?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best.
Here's all the information.
They also have the worst line of dialogue here is Carrie Ewells is now the Secretary of Defense, I believe. And Kittredge is talking to him, and he says, Carrie Ewells says, Impossible Mission Force, what do they do? What do they do? Oh, I can tell you what they do. It's in the title. What do you mean? You're the Secretary of Defense and Impossible Mission Force didn't spell it out for you well enough? Come on, guy.
It's too hard.
And then Shea Wiggum is in this movie as the guy chasing Tom Cruise. Shea Wiggum finds himself in a lot of movies where he works for the authority and someone above him has told him he has to catch someone that's actually the good guy. Like, he finds himself in these situations in all these movies. And for some reason, he always has decided to wear jeans and a sport coat. And it's like, dude, if you're trying to chase people, literally any other combination of things to
Get
wear.
comfy.
A suit would be better to run in than jeans and a sport coat. I don't know what you're thinking. And then I don't know a lot about spy movies, but I do know that when you're waiting for a wire transfer of your money that's hundreds of millions of dollars, you wait till it goes green before you hand the MacGuffin over. That's Spy 101. And when it gets to 30% transferred, she hands him the MacGuffin. That's just, even a rookie knows. You wait till that goes green, then you hand the MacGuffin over. That didn't make any sense to me. That's all I've got.
It's time for Mission or Impossible. It's where we ask some questions and categorize them in various ways. I'll start with you, Rye.
Actually, real quick, I got to use my wait, what backtrack.
You use the backtrack.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. I can't wait to find out where Luther is in number 8, where apparently the entity can't. He has to go so off grid where the
dude. This is my.
I hope they address it.
Yeah. Here's my thing.
Luther's MIA taken to the house right now.
Now I can't stop wondering how much is he asking to be in these movies? Yeah. Because this is like the third movie where he's just not. It's like he's in it. This is obviously he's in it for like half the movie.
Who gets more screen time, him in this movie or Philip Seymour Hoffman in 3?
Ooh,
it's close.
It's close.
Yeah,
it's close.
But like this movie, he's just that final 50 minutes.
No,
he's gone. Because I know, and they explain it in
grid.
the plot, but like,
grid.
Does he just cost too much to have him in the whole movie? I don't understand why this keeps happening. So that's why it's my impossible. But thank you for bringing it up. What do you got?
Man, that's a D-bag move right there. Holy cow.
I'm also going impossible.
Sorry.
This has to be a record, right? 28-minute cold open before they hit the Mission
That's
Impossible.
got to be it.
theme song.
We'll see what
Like,
happens. Yeah.
There can't possibly be another 28-minute cold open in the history of cinema.
Man, that's a big cold
It's got to
open.
be the winner,
Yeah.
right?
I would think so.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I feel like there's a movie that's pretty famous for the credits showing up very late in the movie, or the title card showing up very late in the movie, and I can't remember what it is now. But that's a great question.
28 minutes is
that's
a
insane.
first act in a lot of movies.
That is well over a third of a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy. I'm Mission, and this is the easiest call I've made. You win Impossible. What are you doing?
No, I'm cheering for you.
I'm Mission because this is the first time we're watching one of these not knowing what happens next. I don't know what happens next aside from Ethan Hunt's going to save the world. That's all I know. And I couldn't be more excited to watch this on the smallest screen possible. I'm excited for how serious everyone's going to take this. I'm excited for the world being at stake. I'm excited for them to bring back old nostalgic plot lines that don't make any sense. I'm excited for the stunts. I'm excited for all of it. It's got to be Mission. Our mission's to watch the last movie. We don't know what happens. We've kept ourselves from spoilers. I'm excited to get that done today.
That's right. We're going to watch it on the smallest screen possible,
right.
and then it's going to explode when it's done.
No spoilers for 2 months.
It's impressive.
We deserve a little pat on the back.
Even when they started releasing the trailers, the new trailers that came out after the movie that showed the stunts, we didn't.
I would change the channel.
That's right, immediately.
Yeah.
Well, it's the integrity of the
That's right.
of the thing.
The whole thing.
All right. Well, come on back next week. We'll conclude this sucker. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, maybe the first to wish you
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.